You can hear, then we will start. Okay, so today we will start with the sensory receptor. Before that, I will also like to give you some this targets for this, means our syllabus target. So syllabus target will be at May end, and we will complete GIT and endocrine. You can hear, then we will start July. So today we will start sentences. For that, I will also like to give you some targets, syllabus target. Practicals. Okay. So by May end we will complete GIT and endocrine, and June and July we will complete CNS and special senses and practicals, and then we will keep August for revision and self study. Okay, are you getting this? Okay, so again we will start with today lecture that we will take sensory receptor, and again our main concern will be syllabus target for this month will be in May we will complete GIT and endocrine. Okay, and by June and July we will complete CNS and special senses and some practical part, and at August we will keep this August for revision and self study, and you also should be ready for theory and Viva exam by this May end, which we are planning. And for the syllabus will be a whole physiology except CNS and special senses and practical parts. So all theory part except CNS and units and spatial senses. So we will start with today's lecture. Before that, we will see in general aspect of what do you mean by sensation, senses, stimulus, reception, processing, perception, response, and how they become memory. So in general, you can tell me that sensation, you can hear me now? Yes. Am I audible? You are getting what I am saying? Yes. What's time now? It's yes, audible. Okay. So sensation sensation, you can understand this as a perception of external environment, like someone touches or touch, pain. So what these things are? These are the our perception for the external stimuli from the environment. So that are sensation. So we know that on that basis there are lot of senses like touch, pain, temperature, uh, pressure, vibration, position. So these are all sensation or senses that we sense. For any sensation, you can remember or you should know that there is a need of some stimulus. Okay. So that stimulus, then how you will define stimulus? Can anyone tell me? If now you know that there are a lot of sensation like touch, pain, temperature. So on that perception, how you will define or how you will try to explain stimulus? Anyone? What do you mean by stimulus? Anyone? What do you mean by stimulus? I have told you many times the exact definition of stimulus, but you can arbitrarily tell me in your language what do you mean by stimulus. Yes, anyone? What do you mean by stimulus? Okay, excitation to something. Okay, very good. Functional reaction by our body or organ tissue, a change in external environment which reward. Very good, very good. That is a very good answer. Hotel Sakshi Ahuj, I think. Very good, Sakshi. Very good, very good. This is what I have told you many times, many times. This is a change in external environment. Very good, Sakshi. I think Sakshi has told this. And this is my exact words that any change in external environment is called as stimulus, and I have which cause any action. Very good. Okay. So any change. Oh yes. So any change, detectable change in physical or chemical. Yes, yes. Very good. Very good. So any change in external environment is called as stimulus. So if you want to learn sensation or receptor, so there is a need of stimulus, and stimulus is any change in the external environment. Now that change in external environment has to be sensed or received by some receiver in our body. Okay. If there is any sound, if there is any light, so that has to be received by from our body by any means. So there are small organs or tissues which receive that change. They are called as receptors. They are inside our body. That may be on the surface, that may be on the inside of our body. Also they work as a reception. They work as a reception and they are called as receptor organ or receptors. Okay. Now after receiving that stimulus, there is a processing, or you can say first there will be transfer of that information toward the central nervous system. Yes, we know that every form of information will be transferred to the central nervous system, and with the different tracts. Now there will be processing of this information, means processing in form like whether it is a good, you can say reception, or you can say good information, bad information, whether that same sort of information is there already stored in the memory or not, or how now we have to respond. So this sort of processing is done, and ultimately that is perceived, that is called as perception. So that information is perceived in central nervous system by sorting, analyzing, correlating with the memory. So that is a perception. So sometimes one touch can be painful to a person, that can be a you can say jolly sensation to another person. So that depends on the perception of a different person, or perception of that particular central nervous system. Now after perceiving, now that human body will respond to that particular sort of stimulus, or particular sort of you can say information. So that will be the response. That response may be in any way, and ultimately such sort of stimulus will be stored as a form of memory for the future use, or for future significance. So this is a general idea how you get a stimulus, how that information is carried, how it is received, processed, perceived, and responded and stored. Okay, so till now it's okay everyone, that this is a general, you can say, information regarding the reception. Okay, now our main aim for today's this, oh, okay, you are not getting this, I have to minimize, no, this one. So in today's our topic, main focus will be on the this reception, that is how exactly we will be receiving that stimulus or change in environment in our body. So again, those who have joined now, I am again I would like to tell them that our syllabus target for this month will be GIT and endocrine, and in June and July we will complete CNS and special senses and some practical part, and in August we will be ready for revision and self study, and also by this May end you should be ready for the theory and Viva exam by this May. So now our today's objective will be getting this. Very good. This is what I have told you many times. This is a change in external environment. Very good. Sakshi. I think Sakshi has told this. Cause any action. So any change, oh, yes. So any change, detectable change in physical or chemical. Yes, very good. So what is our main objectives will be? What do you mean by sensory receptor? How they are classified? How do they generate receptor potential? What is encoding, and what are their properties? Okay. So again, sensation, it is a conscious perception of sensory information reaching towards the brain from external or internal environment. Okay, so it is a form, this is a conscious perception of sensory information reaching the brain from external and internal environment. So it has two type of you can say sensation will be of two types, which we can sense. They are spatial senses and somato aesthetic or somatic senses, somato aesthetic senses or somatic senses, spatial senses. Somatic senses again divided into two different part, two or three different types. Exteroceptive, that is from external side, interoreceptive from internal side of our body, and proprioceptive and kinesthetic. So these are the sensation, and the sensation they basically, to sense this, we have sensory receptors. That sensory receptors will be connected to the apparent neurons. They will be there at the center, that is a brain part, and response will be coming from the efferent neurons. So this is the component. Now what do you mean by receptor? Processing, or you can say first there will be transfer of that information for the central nervous system. We know that every form will be transferred to the central nervous system. So receptor, sensory receptor, part of neuron or a specialized cell that generates action potential in the neuron. So each receptor, it is a part of neuron or it is a specialized cell that generates action potential in the neuron. So each receptor is connected with the neuron and it function as a transducer. Transducer means electrical transducer, which converts mechanical energy or electrical energy into mechanical energy. Okay, so there are transducers in the fan which converts electrical energy into the mechanical energy. So it is a sort of transducer which converts one form of energy into the another form. So it converts usually different forms of energy into electrical energy, and that electrical energy inside our body is the action potential. Now that action potential then will be carried through the neurons. Now another concept is adequate stimulus, a particular form of energy to which receptor is most sensitive, that is called as adequate stimulus. Means or you can say specificity of that stimulus means light will only stimulate rods and cones. Okay. So or rods and cones will not be stimulated by other sort of stimulus. Even if they get stimulated with a high threshold of stimulus or high frequency of stimulus, it will not give the response for which that rod and cones is made for. So this is called as adequate stimulus. So each and every receptor needs adequate or particular stimulus. So that is, so sensory perceiving. Now that human body will respond to that particular sort of stimulus or particular sort of are you able to see the PPTs? Yes or no? So that will be the response. PPT, you can see PPTs, no? And such sort of stimulus will be stored as a. Okay, so you are getting the PPTs. Form of memory for the future use or for. So sensory receptor, it is a part of neuron or a specialized cell that generates action potential. So this is the transducer, sensory receptor or sensory transducer, which is inside our body, which on getting stimulated it forms action potential, and it is a specialized neuron or a specialized cell that generates action potential, and it functions as a transducer. Now different classification of receptor on the basis of stimulus. What type of stimulus it is transducing. So first will be mechanoreceptors. So there are mechanoreceptors. So mechanoreceptors, again they sense for touch, pressure, vibration. Touch, pressure and vibration. So detect the mechanical compression or stretching. So they detect the compression or stretching or mechanical changes over the skin or the different organs. So they are called as mechanoreceptors. Thermoreceptors, they sense for warm and cold, detect the changes in the temperature in the environment, so they are thermoreceptor. Now chemoreceptor, so they change in the chemical or detect the change in the chemical conformation, like usually they are taste, smell, or change in partial pressure of oxygen, change in partial pressure of CO2. So they are chemoreceptors. So any change in the chemical conformation, so they detect that. Now nociceptors, they are pain receptors that detect the damage to the tissue, physical, that may be physical or chemical damage. Electromagnetic receptors, so they detect the change in the light or electromagnetic changes. Okay, so usually on the basis of stimuli we divide this receptors into these 5 forms: mechanoreceptor, thermoreceptor, chemoreceptor, nociceptors and electromagnetic receptors. Okay, that is how exactly we will be receiving that stimulus change in environment. Okay. Now second classification is our syllabus target for this month will be GIT and endocrine, and in June and also for by this May end. Okay, so these are the 5 different types. So if in exam you will be asked to uh, define receptor and classify receptor, so you after definition you can say this is the first classification on the basis of the stimuli. Second classification will be on the basis of location of stimuli, means where exactly that stimulus is located. So exteroreceptors means touch, like touch, pressure, pain, vibration and temperature, where there will be on this the stimuli will be stimulating at the or the skin region. Okay, so on skin region or from external surface of the body, that is stimulating the or that stimulus is stimulating on the external surface of the body. Interoreceptors, so these are inside the body, like over the membranes of on organs, capsules. So it is, and mostly the exteroreceptors, they are conscious sensation. Interoreceptor, they receive for the non-conscious or unconscious except for pain and pressure. Baroreceptors, osmoreceptor, proprioceptors, which changes senses the body position and movements. So these are the exteroreceptor outside, interoreceptor inside of the body, and third one is a telereceptor. So their stimulus is located beyond the borders of the body, means from the distance, like vision, hearing, smell. So they are called as telereceptors. Okay. Third classification, depending on the rate of adaptation, means receptors, if they are rapidly adapting themselves, that is called as rapidly adapting receptors, or they are also called as phasic receptors, or they are also called as dynamic receptors. And if they are slowly adapting, they are called as slowly adapting receptors, or tonic receptors, or static receptors. Okay. Now, one principle is there, before we will also discuss this in properties of receptor. So this receptors follow this principle, that is labeled line principle. What is labeled line principles? It means that one nerve fiber carries only one sensation. Okay, you can see here, this is the one nerve fiber. It have 3 to 4, or here you can say it has 3 dendrites, but all these 3 dendrites will sense for a same sort of stimuli. Okay, means that nerve fiber will carry the single sensation. That is called as labeled line principle. Means it will not be like that this one nerve fiber will have will sense for touch, pain, temperature, light sensation, or sense of vibration. So it will not happen. It will only sense for one sort of sensation, and same impulse conduction will be same in this neuron. Sensory receiver decide the sensation. So now this receptors has received the stimuli, and it will be sent, that information is sent to the central nervous system. Now that cortical region or sensory region will decide which sort of sensation were that. Okay, so this is called as labeled line principle. So basically it depends on differential sensitivity, means highly sensitive to one type of stimulus, means one receptor is highly sensitive for a single type of stimuli, and it is very least sensitive for the other stimulation, like rods and cones. They only sense for the electromagnetic change. And modality of principal type of sensation felt is determined by the point in CNS to which fibers leads, means at what particular area that fibers are reaching, that will decide the what that sensation is. Means ultimately sensation will be decided by the central nervous system. So this is your labeled line principle. Now what are the different sensory modalities which we sense? So that is conscious sensation. Conscious sensations are vision, and your receptors will be rods and cones, and organ will be eye. Hearing, that will be sense, the receptor will be hair cells, and sensory organ will be ear. Smell, olfactory neurons. This olfactory neurons or olfactory free nerve endings will be the this receptors, and your nose will be the organ. Taste, this taste receptors or this taste buds over the tongue will be the receptor. Rotational linear acceleration hair cell into the this vestibular apparatus or cochlea will be the receptor organ. Touch pressure, free nerve endings or different type of receptor that we will see, that will be the receptors. Warm and cold, free nerve endings, joint position and movement, nerve endings. So these are all the conscious sensation which we sense. Unconscious sensation, muscle length and tension. So there is a rapid day to day, there is a change in the muscle length and tension, and that will be sensed by the free nerve endings, muscle spindle and Golgi tendon. Arterial blood pressure, which this we have studied very well in CVS. So these are the free nerve endings on the aortic sinus and carotid sinus that act as an baroreceptors. Central venous pressure, nerve endings, stretch receptors in carotid and aortic body. Inflation of lung, in lung inflation, so they are free nerve endings or J receptors inside the lung parenchyma. Temperature, neurons in the hypothalamus. So there is a temperature center in the hypothalamus which senses for the change in the body temperature. Arterial partial pressure of oxygen. So there are again chemoreceptors in the form of glomus cells in the aortic sinus and carotid sinus. Change in the H plus ion concentration in CSF. So they stimulate the chemoreceptors in the medulla. Osmotic pressure of plasma, there are osmoreceptors in the anterior hypothalamus, so they changes for the change in the osmolarity of the plasma. So these are the unconscious senses. You can't sense that now my pH is changing or there is change in osmolarity. So these are the unconscious sensation, or these are the different sensory modalities. Now where these receptors are located, so as far as exteroreceptors are considered, so they are present in the dermis or in the skin appendages. So you can see here in diagram a tactile corpuscle or Meissner corpuscle for light touch. You can see this a type of a diagram, tactile corpuscle or Meissner corpuscle. So are you getting the things, or are you getting this or not? You can tell me in WhatsApp whether if you are not getting any of this. Okay. So B, you can see so you can see this is a diagram of skin, epidermis, dermis, hypodermis. Okay, so all of this most of the receptors, exteroreceptors, are located at this dermis region. Okay, so you can see this B, that is Merkel's disc or Merkel's corpuscle. That is for touch. C, you can see these are the free nerve endings present over the dermis region. They sense for the pain. D, lamellated Pacinian corpuscle, which we will learn in detail. That is for deep pressure. So you can see it is just like an onion structure, sheets of multiple layered this corpuscle, that is for deep pressure. Ruppini's end organ or Ruppini's corpuscle for temperature sensation. So this is E for temperature sensation, Ruppini's end organ. So these are the different type of receptors which is present in the dermis. Okay. You can see they are located: thermoreceptor, Meissner corpuscle, nociceptors for pain sensation, Pacinian corpuscle for pressure. Okay, so these are, you can see this is the exact diagrams for different type of somatosensory receptors. Okay, so you can concentrate on Pacinian corpuscle, which we will see in detail, and you will learn in again in this tone posture and equilibrium, muscle spindle, Golgi tendon apparatus. Okay, so how this receptor work? So as I have told you already, there is a transduction of some sort of energy into the electrical energy. So they act as a transducer, and just transducing any form of energy into the electrical energy, and then there is a generation of receptor potential. So ultimately, any type of energy, that may be chemical, mechanical, electromagnetic, all these energies will be converted into the electrical energy, and there is a formation of receptor potential. So different energies, what are the different energies which is going to get converted into electrical energy? That can be mechanical energy, like touch, that is a mechanical energy, pressure, stretching, and how that helps that receptor. So whenever someone touches or there is a pressure or vibration, there is the stretching of that receptor membrane, and that stretching will cause the change in that receptor, and that change will lead, that we will see. So mechanical, thermal, warmth and cold, that alters the permeability of that membrane. So if there is alteration in permeability, that will cause the entry and exit of some ions, and that will generate the action potential. Electromagnetic, whenever there is a fall of that electromagnetic rays or light, that allows the ions to flow through the membrane channel. So either there will be entry of the ions or exit from that particular receptor. So again there will be formation of receptor potential. Chemical, again that change in the chemical conformation, that will cause the opening of different ion channels. So in that way we sense for the smell and taste. Okay, so this diagram is very important, because here there is a transduction of one form of energy into the electrical energy, and ultimately there is a formation of receptor potential. Now for example, we will learn one prototype, that is Pacinian corpuscles. You can see drawn diagram of Pacinian corpuscle. Here you will see that this Pacinian corpuscle, it is constitutes of this myelinated and at the end unmyelinated neuron. You can see at the end it is unmyelinated neuron, and it is covered with the from outer side it is covered with the Schwann cells. Okay, so this unmyelinated neuron is surrounded by the multiple layers of the connective tissue, in the form just like onion, and there is a formus or corpuscles, you can say the corpuscles, and this bunch of corpuscles over this unmyelinated end of the neuron is forming a sort of Pacinian corpuscle. And you can say some of the peculiarity of this Pacinian corpuscle is it is having unmyelinated neuron, some sort of unmyelinated neuron, and the first node of Ranvier will be inside the corpuscle. First node of Ranvier will be inside the corpuscle, and when this neuron will leave the this corpuscular body, it will be then having multiple nodes of neurons, so it will be covered with the this Schwann cell. Okay, so you can see now how there is a formation of this receptor potential. That is our main concern. So whenever there is a touch or pressure over the skin, that will draw some amount of pressure or touch over this corpus, Pacinian corpuscle, and that will cause the deformation of this unmyelinated end of the neuron. So whenever it will get deformed, there will be entry of some positive ions inside the unmyelinated end of the neuron, and as soon as now this is this neuron is at the resting membrane potential, as soon as there is entry of positive charge ion inside the neuron, it will start its, you can say, local potential, generation of the local potential, and this generation of local potential again will be act as an stimulus to this rest of the neuronal end, and it will start a local current of the potential, or you can say there is an increase in the entry of too much amount of ions inside the cell. So you can see this is the continuous formation or the entry of formation of the current, which will cause lot of ions to enter inside this neuronal end, and that is called as receptor potential. And this receptor potential, if it is enough to get propagated through this nerves, or there is increase in this amount or strength and stimuli, intensity of stimulus is increasing as there is increase in the pressure and increase in the touch, that will be converted into action potential. So first there will be formation of local or graded potential, then there will be receptor potential, and this receptor potential has enough strength to cross the threshold potential, that will be the action potential. So this mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. The frequency is proportionate to the magnitude of stimuli, and magnitude is proportional to the intensity of the stimuli. So how frequent that this, you can say, the you can say perception or this stimulus will be, that depends on the magnitude of the stimuli, and definitely magnitude of stimulus will be dependent on the intensity of the stimulus. Okay, so you can see there will be stimulus, that is here what we are taking it as a pressure or touch, then that sensory receptor will get deformed, then there will be change in the ion permeability of that afferent nerve ending, or there will be first formation of the graded potential or receptor potential over that receptors, and that then will be forming the action potential, then change in the membrane potential, generation of action potential, propagation of action potential toward the central nervous system or that particular centers, and that it will get integrated, analyzed, and that information will be correlated in the central nervous system, and the response will be according to that information. Okay, so this is again important flow chart for the how exactly this say it's working. Okay. Hmm. So stimulus intensity, receptor potential, and action potential. So you can say, see that the membrane potential, this graph will tell you by this, by how you can get this receptor potential on the basis of, or how there is a change in the membrane potential of that receptor with the time duration. Means if you are stimulating at this point, there will be generation, or here it is at the resting membrane potential. So the cell is at resting when you started stimulation. As soon as there is increase in the frequency of stimulus, there will be generation of the receptor potential. So these are all the receptor potentials. But here up to this level, that is up to 20 or 30 milliseconds, it is not crossing the threshold level. So as it is not crossing the threshold level, there will not be any generation of action potential. And as soon as that has enough intensity, stimulus is enough intense to generate a receptor potential which crosses the minus 60 millivolts, then there is a generation of the action potential. Now you can see that there is a lot of concentration or accumulation of large number of action potentials which is continuously carrying through this apparent nerves. Okay, so this is how there is generation of the action potential. These are all the properties which we see in the property section. So we will come to the